Okay, so Scott came today, as we all know. We did a quick fire drill. Some things we did okay. A lot of things we have some areas of improvement, which is good because that's the whole point of this, right? Better to learn now than, a fire. So, but thank you for everybody for coming in here. We want to do a quick rundown. We're recording it because it is lunchtime. We need to get him on the road. Some of us have some meetings we have to get to this afternoon. So I'm trying to get through this pretty quick. But thank you, everybody. You too, Mr. Horner. Yep. What?
I appreciate everybody's time today. Like I said, this is why we do this. I don't think that we've had a fire drill here. Have we ever had a fire drill here?
Yeah, in the back in the day, we used to do them, not
Marlow World days?
Yeah.
So it's been quite a while.
5 years.
It's been a long time. So there's a lot of stuff that we could learn. Most stores have never had a fire drill. If they have, it's been so long ago, nobody knows how to do it. There's only 2 or 3 people that were here. So it took us 10 minutes from the time it got, till the time the technicians noticed the fire in the back, till the time we called it out here. Now, we called it early because it was just gonna take forever to get everybody accounted for. So y'all had stuff to do, we had stuff to do, so we just moved on.
Everybody being the people not in the building, the road technicians, the salespeople, et cetera, et cetera. So, I think, right?
Yep. All right, so we did do some things right. One thing that we did, the technicians noticed that there was a fire, and they went out the back. They went out the closest way, and they were yelling fire as they went out the building. They told the drivers and the customer to meet them out the front. The Informacast message was sent pretty quick. Zach counted the employees that he knew should have been in the building, so not all managers know that I should have exactly 15 people in my building. But what he can't count for is the drivers, the customers, the vendors that may be out back. A field technician may have pulled up back there that he didn't account for. So all he knows is the people that should be here every day. All right, and we were able to activate the alarm at the panel. Now I want to give credit where credit is due, because we're going to send this up to Zach, and there's other folks that are going to see these results. Is there anything else that y'all feel that we did really well that I didn't mention in this? No? All right, so areas of improvement. So one thing, I don't think everybody took it as seriously as it's supposed to be taken. We need to treat these drills just like a real fire, because this is our training to learn the process. Some employees went back into the desk either to get their jackets, or they went back in, we had to get hoses, whatever it was. We went back in, we didn't treat it like a real fire, because we wouldn't do that in a real fire. No one called 911, I don't expect you to actually call 911, come on in. I don't expect you to actually call 911 in a drill, but we have to at least talk about it, say, hey, I'm gonna be calling 911, and just pretend to do that, all right? It's just part of the process. No one took control of the group outside. So Zach and Julia were trying to take care of accounting for employees, make sure everything got done, but no one was watching everybody else. So if somebody had a medical emergency, somebody was cut, somebody was injured, somebody didn't know what to do, disorderly, whatever it is, somebody needs to take control of that group. And if Zach's not here, Daniel's not here, somebody has to take control of that group. So everybody has to know every step of the process. No one walked the customer or drivers out. We told them to get out. And Bill actually went back there and said, hey, you gotta go. And then the customer slowly driving the boom lift, and then he turned around and slowly drove it back into the fire. The older gentleman, the driver that was with a cane. We have to help the folks that have mobility issues. All right, so we didn't get them out, we just told them to get out, and as we kept going. All right, so again, we have to treat this like a real fire. And I know we don't want to piss off customers, but at the same time, they should understand why we're doing this. No one sent anybody to the road to wave in the emergency folks. And that same person can wave off the Centos truck that pulled up and the field service tech that pulled in. All right, so we don't need to close the gate. I think that was mentioned, but we need to leave that gate open for the fire department to get back there. We don't want to stop them from anything. And I don't want y'all taking the time to actually close it. So if it comes out, just go through, get out. Again, no one helped the driver that was using the cane to get to the rally point. We were not able to account for all the employees. Zach took responsibility for everything at the rally site. he needs to delegate that stuff because he needs to help account for everyone. He's gonna be the one that's gonna go out there and talk to the fire department when they get here.
He's good at it.
Right.
He'll do that, bro.
But at this today, we didn't do that. It was just, all right, and because it was one other thing, when we were out there, he actually said, all right, I'll do that too. He can't, all right? If he's not here, if Daniel's not here, somebody's gotta do it. And that's why we all have to know every step. We need to back up for the managers. The alarm was very quiet, we need to actually make that where you can hear it. All right, we couldn't hear that in the shop, and there was some folks that couldn't hear it back there. How did you know that there was a fire and you needed
Guys
that?
yelling.
To the technician screaming out there? Another thing, when you came out the door, there's a forklift right in front of you. And I know we're tight, we're stacked up with forklifts sometimes, but that is y'all's emergency exit. So when you came out that door, you went to the left, and that's where the fire was. So then you went back to the right, but there's a ton of fire or forklifts over this way too. If you're blocked in, I don't want you to have to crawl through a forklift in order to be able to get out.
Oh, I would though.
Right? You would, but I don't want you to have to do that because it slows you down.
Yeah.
Right? And what I told the technicians was that this fire was too big to put out, and it was an LP tank that was burning. So it could have blown up at any time. I don't want you taking any more time than you have to. We have a ton of LP tanks back there. There's only one fire pole in the entire building, and it's back there in park by the roll-up door. There's only one strobe light in the entire building. That does the guys in the shop absolutely zero good. Because if it's loud out there, you're probably not gonna hear the alarm. You have to have that visual alert too. So we have to add more strobe lights out there for y'all. There needs to be more strobes and alarms in here. That alarm should be so loud that you don't wanna stay. We don't train to this because we don't train. No one grabbed the fire extinguisher or the AED. So we need to think about that as we go out. If it's safe to do so, grab that AED, because if somebody falls out here, the gentleman with the cane, he could have had a heart condition too. He could have fallen out. If we can get the AED on him within 2 minutes, we stand a lot better chance of saving his life.
Should that be somebody that's like sole responsibility? Like
If it's somebody's sole responsibility and they're not here, then nobody does it.
That's true.
If you're passing by it and it's there, grab it, go.
Well, where it's at, the only person that's gonna pass by it would more likely be her or one of the techs.
All right, so do we need to look at moving it? Do we need to look at moving it maybe toward the front of the building? Because more people are gonna go out that front door, right? Do we need to look at maybe moving it over in the parts area? Because there's always somebody in the parts area. So we need to do that, yes, sir.
Wouldn't it be better just to put in another AED to have, I mean, somebody's more likely to get, electrocuted or have something pass out, something in the shop than they are
Yeah.
in the building.
Okay.
Whoa, wait a minute. Y'all be old, I'm gonna fall out tomorrow, Tom.
I'm
I
just
know,
saying.
We got
It's
you
something
on
we
Bill
better
out
look at.
there, I know what you were thinking, just go ahead and say it.
They don't have life alerts, so.
So as we go through, one thing that we also need to do is we need to watch out for each other and we need to sweep the building as we go through. So when the alarm went off, Zach went up and down the hallway and he looked in the open offices, looked in the break rooms. You look in here?
I did.
Okay, looked in here, but we didn't check any of the bathrooms. We didn't check anything with a closed door. We could have had somebody in there that tripped, fell down, whatever, had some issues and couldn't get out. We have to at least know where they are. So if you see somebody and you physically can't get them up and drag them out, when you get out there, then you tell them who it is, or you tell them that somebody's in there and where they are, so we can tell the fire department when they get here. We don't wanna send fire department in here if they don't have to be here. We don't wanna risk their lives for nothing. Because again, with all the LP tanks, it's a very bad place for a fire to be. Anything else that we need to improve on? There was also brought up that where the propane tank is, maybe this is not the best place
Yeah, that's,
for a rally point.
I don't think, I've never thought that. It's not far enough away.
Tommy brought it up, he's the one who brought it up, I'll give him.
Mhm.
So we'll take a look at that.
Yep.
We may have to change the rally point, that's fine.
Yep.
We can
Move
move
it
it
to
over
that
there
end of
on
the
that
parking
side,
lot.
but we just need to stay out of the way of the fire department.
Right, well, there's plenty of grass area over there.
Okay, so we can, it's easy enough to change that.
Yeah.
When we finish the remodel, I'll come back through and redraw your emergency action plan, and then we'll talk about it again. So things that we need to do to improve the response, we're gonna have to drill a lot more often. So we're gonna have to do this at least once a quarter for a while. I will be here at least one time a quarter, every quarter next year. But I'll do this one more time next year. It'll be unannounced. I'll tell Zach. He won't tell any of y'all. So it goes off, it goes off. You won't know if it's a drill or not, but you better get out. All right?
Is it gonna be loud?
Well, that's the thing.
I hope so. Because we gotta get facilities to figure out, what we gotta do. If we're done with the remodel, it should be much louder.
Because right now, we don't have any sort of intercom except the phones, which are great for on this side of the wall,
Yep.
but doesn't do anything out there.
So if there's a fire here, there's no way for y'all to tell them. If there's a fire back there, there's no way for them to
Except
tell
for
them.
the wall.
When I announce, does it come across the PA out there?
Yeah, we can hear it.
Does it come across the PA?
Yeah. It should, yeah, it should.
It does in the shop.
Yeah,
It comes across.
here
the wall.
all day, all the time.
So Zach is gonna run 3 drills next year, and I think we're looking to maybe do one more this year. But he'll run those and just to keep us going with what we're doing. We're gonna, expand the number of fire poles and strobe lights in the building, make the alarm louder, ensure everybody knows every step of the process. Someone has to take control of the group at the rally point, and that could be anybody, it doesn't matter how long you've been here. Somebody's gonna have to take control. We're gonna add portable first aid kits, 2 of them, one to the front, one to the back, and maybe one in parks. If you get out there and somebody had tripped trying to come out of the shop and cracked their head open, we need to be able to take care of them until the EMTs get here. So it'll be a small fire or first aid kit, it'll have some stuff in there for burns and things like that. And then the one in the back will also have a pair of bolt cutters in it. That way, if you can't get through that gate, especially when we make an electric gate, you can't get through there, then you can cut a hole in the fence and get out.
So the 3 things that'll need to be grabbed is the first aid kit, the AED, and the fire extinguisher.
Yeah. And that's as you go through.
Right,
If you don't pass one, get out.
right.
There was a fire extinguisher set by the fire.
But nobody's gonna grab that one, right?
No, I mean.
Cause nobody should be going toward that LP tank that's burning.
At least you didn't run back in the building.
And then then I'll come back and redraw your emergency action plan. We need more informacast training. Drill cards, I'm gonna make up a bunch of drill cards, there's a hero right there, come on in.
We got you covered if you have a heart attack.
So the drill cards is Zach or Damon, anybody can go out there, print them off, it'll be on the hub, and they can come up and give it to you and say, this is happening right now, what do you do? And then there'll be a page there to kind of give them some guidance of what needs to be done in that specific scenario. We also need to train to get the AED, fire extinguisher, and portable first aid kit. Zach brought up a good idea that we also need a checklist in with those portable first aid kits, because it's going to be hectic. So if you got a checklist that says, all right, these are the 10 things I need to make sure get done, somebody needs to go over there and wave them in. Somebody needs to call 911. All through that, so, yeah, none of the steps get missed, so I think that was a great idea.
Do a smart sheet.
And then we're also, gonna.
It's always on your phone.
There you go. We're also gonna do another training class for folks to get CPR first aid certified. So, all this fair and accurate?
Yeah.
Pretty good? Was it good that we did this?
Yeah, sounds like we need to do it more often, like you said.
We need to do it more often.
Cause we have new people coming and going too, so I mean, we gotta keep whoever's coming in and up to date too, new people, you know?
Good. All right. Anything else? Anything we need to add to it? Well, I appreciate everybody's time. I appreciate everybody's input. That's all I got.
This drill, like you said, we got new people coming in. I know they go through all the safety videos, but that needs to be incorporated in the new hires.
So when they get, so I get technicians for a day.
Yeah.
And when I get them, we talk briefly about, cause we got 28 stores, so I can't go through all 28. But I do go through with them and say, hey, you need to make sure you know where to go in case of. We talk about InformaCast, make sure everybody can get on InformaCast. So when they get back, that's something that has to be part of the new hire package here, that y'all run them through step by step of what they need to do. Okay? Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Hey, time is late.